Good day, good day, good day, YouTube. Friends and family out there. Hope everybody's doing good today. You know, a while back I did a video on YouTube, and it was titled The Decision One Must Make. I did it as a part 1, and this today is going to be part 2. The decision one must make. What this is in regard to is the fast approaching election day here in America. Many of us have spent countless hours watching the race for this office between two candidates, one being Barack Obama, the current president, the other being Mitt Romney. And we have to make a choice, friends. As this day comes closer, we are all searching for a decision or an answer to who we want for president. And it's not easy. In fact, for me, speaking for myself, this has been the hardest decision that I've made in electing or voting. I should say in voting. It's not hard. A lot of us wish we could see into the future. And it'd be nice. It'd be nice to be able to see into the future, but that is unrealistic. We cannot do that. What we can do, and what is smart to do when we're faced with a decision such as this, is to go back in history. So rather than trying to see forward and say, what's this guy going to do? What would Mitt Romney do for America? What would Obama do in the next 4 years for America? Too many unknown factors. There's no way that we can answer that question. What will they do? We do know that since they're both politicians, it's not always easy to believe them. I mean, let's face it. If we go back into 2007, we can see that Barack Obama made a lot of promises. In fact, he was a real smooth talker. He made a lot of promises, and he'd be the first to tell you, I didn't lie. I didn't lie. Even though we haven't seen those promises come true, he simply changed his promises. He changed his promises. He said that he would make changes. And he did. He definitely made changes. If you go back and you look at his track record and the things that he's done, you can't argue the fact that the majority of the changes that he's made have not been beneficial to America. I'm not going to argue with anybody about this. I know that there's many people that really, truly believe that Barack Obama is going to be the best choice for America. And that's because most people don't really know Mitt Romney. It hasn't been easy learning about Mitt Romney. It's just not easy to get to know somebody until you start seeing their performance. You know, the world's full of everyday cases where we run into people and we think, boy, you know, what a nice person. What a friendly person that is. And then, you know, maybe a year down the road, we find out that this person isn't who we thought they were at all. And that's the case when we're voting in a president. It's definitely not easy. Obama and America have found it real easy to blame Bush for our woes. Bush was not good at budgeting. And in fact, he made a lot of mistakes while he was in the office. But we have to remember that when Bush came into office, he was sitting on a big national debt. He was sitting on unresolved issues. And it's not always easy cleaning up a mess that you walk into. I'm not whitewashing Bush by any means. I wasn't satisfied with his performance either. Certainly not pleased with Obama's performance. And the reason that I'm not is I go back and I look. As I say, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's in the future, what the future holds. I do know that, in my opinion, running a household, being a woman that is very frugal, I am a budgeter. When I look at the fact that this man sits on the debt of our nation, and rather than to budget, and Congress is to blame for this, the Senate's to blame for this, it's not just one man, but they were not able to get their heads or wrap their heads around what budget means. And that bothers me, because whether we like to admit it or not, the national debt, which if you go and check, and I'll put links down below, if you go and check our national debt today, the amount of it on the 24th, which is today, is so astronomical, it blows my mind. Our national debt today is 15 trillion. That's with a T. 15 trillion 967 billion 105 million 202 thousand 121 and 55 cents. Our national debt today is growing at $3.8 billion per day. That's per day. Growing at $3.8 billion per day. At that growth, how long can it go on? You know, so many Americans looked at the stimulus and these checks that come rolling out. I personally didn't get one. I didn't believe it was the right thing to do. And that's just personal preference. Why be part of the problem? And the reason I didn't want the check is it was not given. It wasn't a gift. People, the national debt. I'm going to use an example here. Let's say that you and I go out to dinner to some great big fancy restaurant. And as we walk in, the host or hostess meets us and tells us to be seated on a bench against the wall where we can overlook the entire restaurant. We watch all these people eating filet of mignon or steak and lobster or caviar and drinking their champagne and having a gay old time. We sit on this bench watching. Then when all these people are finished and they come out with smiles on their faces passing by us, behind them comes the waiter with his little black tray, and he hands us the bill. And we're informed that we have to pay that bill. Well, that's what's happened. See, this national debt doesn't get paid by the government. It gets paid by the citizens of the United States. So if we have somebody in office that is bad at budgeting and doesn't know how to pinch pennies, doesn't know how to make cutbacks, doesn't know how to tighten the belt, then we end up with a much, much bigger bill. And that's what's happened each year, that we have a bad budgeter in the office. America is not going to get any better until everybody tightens their belts. You know, I listen to people, especially in YouTube and in comments. Oh my gosh, the comments about families that are now living on food stamps. Well, you know, we've lost so many jobs here in America, and so many factories have closed up, businesses that used to be. I remember when I went back to Ohio. I went to Lisbon, Ohio. What a beautiful area that is. And the houses and the structure of everything, the old brick factories and steel mills that were like ghost towns. They were all closed up, and I thought to myself, how sad that is, because we still use a lot of steel. Bricks are still used. Why all the emptiness? Why all the closure? Why? And then I found out that those industries, you know, the majority of the work in that area was sent overseas. You know, and I love the entire world. I love other countries. But I love America too. And very much so. And I believe that we should have industries here at home. I believe that our people should work here. And I believe that that would help our nation. I truly do. They need to restructure the whole system, not just a piece of it. And do we have anybody running that could do that? I don't know. If we look at the track record, we can certainly see that given the executive orders, and friends, you need to go read those. You need to realize what Obama is, what we see. It's like if you go back to when he ran the first time. The crowds went wild. There were people screaming and clapping and crying. The cameras went through the crowd, and big old alligator tears coming down people's faces. Because Obama knew exactly what our ears ached to hear. A good salesman is like that. See, buying anything, I don't care what you buy, buying is triggered by emotion. That's one of the things you learn as a good salesperson, is that people buy based on emotion. Well, Obama was bought. because of emotion. People bought into everything he said. And he knew what to say. I got to hand it to him. He's a very smart man. But what I see is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I can say that and mean it as my opinion based on his track record, based on every executive order, every bill, every law that this man has signed since he went into office. People are concerned right now about the gun control. And I don't know if anybody paid any attention, but Obama said himself, he asked the UN to wait and be patient. He's not making the decision right now. Now, common sense says he's smart. If he was to enact gun control right now, he wouldn't win in the election. There's no way in hell. But what's he going to do the minute he's reelected? That will be the first thing he does. Proof of it is in our news. We've had the Colorado Theater. Am I saying Obama's responsible? No. Am I saying that I believe it happened the way that we're being seen? No more than I believe 9/11 happened the way they say it did. We have the Indian temple shooting. Very bad. That concerns me. Just the response time of the authorities getting there shocks me. I live in a little tiny town, doesn't even happen that fast here. Today we have the Empire State Building. You know, and that one troubles me. The Empire State Building, because of the way that they say the witness, evidently a witness came forward and immediately points out that the shooter was just firing indiscriminately through the crowd, just shooting. And the way it's written up is very smart, brilliant, because it says to a normal citizen, oh my gosh, crazy man shooting everybody. Takes the motive away. It's just everybody, indiscriminately. So there's a lot of things coming up in our news right now regarding guns. And to me, it's nothing more than a little staircase leading up to gun control. That's just my opinion, friends. Everybody has to form their own opinion. But there's too many things that just don't add up in this administration. And the bills that have been enacted or placed in motion, the laws, the executive orders, they're not what America is about. They are not about freedom. They are not about the best for America. So then we have Mitt Romney, you know, stepping away from Obama. But what I recommend people is quit trying to see the future with Obama. Quit trying to look to the future. Okay, what's he going to do in the next 4 years? No. look at what he has done since he came into office. Please go look and be realistic. Open up your mind. Don't look at that that wolf in sheep's clothing. Get that out of your mind. Don't listen to this, because this was saying exactly what we wanted to hear. Look at what has actually happened before you make your decision. On Mitt Romney, same thing. Same thing. Is he going to be good at budgeting? Is he? Because we need that. We need that really bad. Is he going to be for the American people? Not for the government. Not for the clout. Not for the chair. Not to sit behind that big plush fancy desk. But is he going to be for the people? Is he going to be able to undo the mess that's sitting right now in the form of executive orders? Is he going to get rid of the NDAA the way it was written up? That's not good for us. What about Agenda 21? What is Mitt Romney going to do about that? We need to ask him. Obamacare, all these things that have transpired that people are not happy with. And granted, there are some people out there that don't get it, that are not really paying attention. They formed an idea in their mind back in 2007, and they're stuck. They're like an LP record with a scratch. It's just going around and around saying the same thing in their mind. People don't want to humble themselves and say, I made a mistake. But I'll tell you what, in this American's opinion, a mistake was made. Definitely made. And it's going to hurt each and every one of us if we don't make some changes real quick. We have to remember, people, by hiring these people, through voting them in. Now think about this. They don't get into office unless we vote them in. Well, that's what we've been led to believe anyway. So if we allow them to get into office, and we, the taxpayers, pay their salary, then that makes us the employer, doesn't it? We pay the salary. They are supposed to perform specific duties for the people. And if they're not performing, and this goes all the way down to our government in state government, we hire them. We pay their wage. They are employees. If they don't do their job, out of here. If they're not doing for the people, that's insubordination. Out of here. Mitt Romney, wealthy. I'm going to use the word wealthy. Why is it always wealthy people? Why is it always the wealthy that can hold this office? Perhaps we need a poor man to get in there, or a poor woman that knows how to budget and understands what it is to be a real person, struggling to make ends meet. Go ahead and put people down for being on food stamps. It is our government's fault that we don't have jobs in America. All of their trade agreements and moving, letting big corporation change things. Pull out of America for the buck. For the buck. And believe me, the buck for the American citizen has declined. Do you think proud men that have worked all their lives enjoy going and standing in line, begging, acting like or feeling like less than just to get a few food stamps to feed their family? Do you think that feels good? Good God. Do you follow or do you lead? Well, my Uncle Joe says that Obama's it's about time, you know, that we had he's a good guy. And he voted for him. Well, then I'm going to vote for him too. Because, you know, he always knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to vote too. Same as him. Oh, Mrs. Smith's voting for Obama because she says that Obama is a very nice young man. She likes his smile, and she likes the way he is with his family. You know, they got a nice garden. Oh, well, I'm going to vote for him too. I really like Mrs. Smith. People, quit being followers. Wake up. Do your research. Go back. You better jump on it. Do you have any idea how many executive orders have been signed since Obama came into office? You have any idea? Go look it up. And you better start reading and reading fast. If you don't understand them, find somebody that does. Find somebody that does. You need to find out everything this man has done. And you're not going to like it. I hope you're sitting down. Because it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. You know, a good president, I mean, let's start asking Mitt Romney questions. What's he going to do about the chemtrails in the sky? The, what do they call it? Modifying weather? Manipulating the weather. That's what I call it. Manipulating. What's he going to do about that? It's destroying everything. Look at Mother Earth. Look at what it's doing. The chemicals are killing people. Is he for the people? Is he going to stop it so we can start regaining our health and getting back? Heavy metals in the body isn't good. Chemtrails are bad. Fracking, destroying our water. Is he going to put a stop to that? Can we go back to normal? Will Mitt Romney bring us back to normal? Come on, Mitt. Will you do it? Friends, I got to go. But give this all some thought because this election is going to be very, very important. Extremely important. And the decision is one that needs to be made. But boy, right now is a time when red flags should be up. We need to be realist. Quit looking for that rainbow because we're in a heck of a storm and it's not time for the rainbow yet, evidently. Make good choices. Do your research. Check it out before you make the decision. I love you all. And I really don't enjoy all these heavy topics, but they're things we need to face right now. Hugs, love, and hope to everybody. Pass those around. Hugs, love, and hope between you and me. I think they might be contagious. Love you all.